Hello friends, welcome back to 70 by 70. Today we are going to be on a site which is globally important, one of the wonders of the world, Mexico, Chichen Itza. In today's video, you'll see more of what Chichen Itza is rather than what we went and did there. It is because of two reasons. One, personal. We couldn't take too much of videos because it was so hot, and with a child it was impossible for us to take too many videos. And two, I'm sure you're more interested in knowing about Chichen Itza than what we did there. Come on, let's go. As we planned, it was about 2.5 hours drive, and our drive took us through a small town called Valladolid. Well, a typical Spanish town. People were lounging around here and there, enjoying themselves. A nice park where people were doing exercise at the back, and people sitting and fiddling with their phones. This reminded me of my college days, sitting on the wall and talking about all sorts of things. Life must have been fun. And of course, my early life when I was driving one of those Beetles around. We arrived at that magnificent site of Chichen Itza. We bought our tickets and we entered the complex. We took the services of a tourist guide because we want to understand the real history of Chichen Itza and its intricate things. Unlike the Koba ruins that we saw last week, this place was really crowded. Maybe because it is the most popular tourist attraction in this area. We entered the entrance facade, which was a full-fledged establishment, giving us a lot of details about what can be done inside the complex. Our tourist guide was a well-informed lady, and she explained to us where all we are going to go and what all we are going to see. We entered the premises, and this is what we saw. The sun was bright and hot. We were sweating, but still, the sight of Kukul Khan was a sight we can never forget in our lives. The statue of Kukul Khan, the serpent god, and the stepped pyramid, El Castillo, the castle, are the standing monuments of the advanced race of Mayans in this area. The pyramid has 365 steps, one for each day of the year. Each of the temple's four sides has 91 steps, and the top platform makes the 365th step. Sculptures of the serpent Kukul Khan runs down the sides of the northern balustrade. Around the spring and summer equinoxes, the late afternoon sun strikes off the northwest corner of the temple, and it casts a series of triangular shadows against the northwest balustrade, creating an illusion of the feathered serpent slowly crawling down the temple. Are you thinking of claiming the steps? No, it is not allowed because of an accident that took place and a tourist lost his life few years back. Now we are going to walk into a part of this complex which is really interesting, intriguing. A ball game court. Must be wondering what is so great about this court? What is so great about this game? It is the philosophy behind this game. Maya ball game originated more than 3000 years ago. The Maya ball game was more than just an athletic event. It was also a religious event. The Maya showed devotion to their gods by playing this game and by sacrifice. The rules seem to have changed over centuries, but here is the catch. Some sources say the winning team's captain will be decapitated. The winner will die. An interesting turn, no? I still cannot understand the motivation of the players who were playing this game. The end seems to be exactly opposite of what is happening today. The winners rejoice. Look at the expression on my face, standing there in the balcony, trying to understand something I learned new today. Now we are entering the Temple of Warriors. It is a complex consists of a large stepped pyramid and flanked by rows of carved columns depicting the warriors. The temple entombs a former structure called the Temple of the Chalk Mole. The chalk mole is supposed to be a sacrificed soul which takes all the offerings to the god. Along the south wall of the temple, there is a series of what today are exposed columns, but in those days they must have had a nice roof and must have looked different. Well, it was afternoon, the sun was high and it was too hot, and there was no other way but for us to take some rest. There were many interesting parts in the complex, but we chose to visit some of the most important ones. The next one was the observatory. Yes, the Mayans were looking at the sky even 1,000 years back. This is an observatory in their times. The structure, with its usual placement on a platform and its round shape, it is theorized to have been a proto observatory with doors and windows aligned to the astronomical events, especially around the path of Venus as it traverses the heavens. Our next visit was to the Las Monjas complex, which is otherwise called Nunnery. It has nothing to do with nuns or Christianity, but it was named as such by the Spaniards. Maybe it is possible that the name is due to the fact that these buildings, with numerous rooms, reminded the Spaniards of their convents. Our final visit was to this cenote. It's called the Sacred Cenote and not the one that we went and had a dip last week. This is a religious place for the Mayans. It is a well spanning about 60 meters in diameter and reaching a depth of about 22 meters. It was used by Mayans as a sacrificial pit for virgins, warriors, and infants. It is central in Maya's cosmology as a liminal space that served vital portals between the earthly realm and the watery underworld. According to legends, through this opening the deceased passed, and from this opening humans and deities were reborn. Well, there ended our unforgettable day in Chichen Itza. We drove down back to Cancun, went to a nice restaurant for a dinner and a dance show. I'm sure this video was enjoyable and informative for you. I'm sure you're already planning to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell. And I'm sure you're going to put a like too. Thanks for watching.